Hey everyone, I'm on day 2 of recovery from microdiscectomy on L5S1, and the whole process leading up to this, it's been really helpful for me to watch other people's videos and their journeys through this. Um, so I thought I'd share mine as just more resource for anybody that's considering it and um, has any thoughts or concerns about it. Um, just a brief history of it. I have had some, back issues going on for the last like 15 years. Once or twice a year, I'd throw out my back, and it would be like a month of, um, you know, pretty intense pain, a little bit of sciatica, and then it would get better after some rest, ice, stretching, things like that. This past winter, so it's August something, August 14th, I think. Uh, this past winter, I tried cross country skiing for the first time, which was pretty much just falling on my butt on packed snow or ice, and I got pretty sore from that. I had another flare up, so I ended up going to the doctor, and they prescribed a muscle relaxer, physical therapy, and so I went and I did the physical therapy and started to feel a little bit better. I decided to continue on with a personal trainer to do some strength training exercises, and that was going really well. It was like the best that I'd felt in a while. I was with my trainer and doing some glute bridges with like a hamstring rolling sort of thing, and it just felt weird. It didn't hurt, but it felt different. And when I got up, I felt like I'd maybe pulled my hamstring, and I didn't really stretch out too well. It just started to feel tighter and tighter, and then all of a sudden it started to feel like sciatic pain. So I went back to the physical therapist, and I was, doing some exercises really slowly with them, and it was just progressively getting worse. Like I wasn't improving like I had been before. It got to the point where I was really struggling to walk, and the physical therapist got to the point where they were like, I think this is beyond what we can do, and you should go talk to your doctor about a round of oral steroids. So I did that. I got some pretty good improvement from it. After they ended, though, I was in a lot of pain again, and so I tried physical therapy. Um, it just I didn't have any improvement, and so I got an appointment with a spine surgeon. I booked like 10 appointments trying to find like the earliest one, and then I found one that was like 4 weeks out. I was on wait lists and everything, but it ended up being like 4 weeks to get there, and at that point I had deteriorated to where I was I couldn't sit anymore. I couldn't sit in the waiting room to fill out forms. They had to like take me back to a room, and the only way that I was comfortable is if I was walking or if I was laying flat on my stomach. So they got me on my stomach in a treatment room, and like got me all filled out. They took x-rays because they wanted fresh x-rays. The surgery center that I was at was fantastic every step of the way, really supportive. If you're in the Portland area, orthopedic and fracture clinic in Beaverton they've been great. So let's see, they took x-rays. The doctor came in and did an exam, and he's like, this is pretty severe, but you can see there was like a lack of disc space in the I think the lateral view of the x-ray between my L5S1. He had me try and walk, and like, it was really clearly there was something wrong. He stepped out and came back in and said, I cleared the schedule. If you want to go get an MRI downstairs, we'll do that immediately. Called me back later that day and said that it was a pretty severely herniated disc there, and he recommended that I get epidural steroid injection, although he was not super hopeful because of the size of the herniation. I think he said it was 2.1 centimeter, which from what I understand is pretty large. He didn't have a lot of hope for it. I had to be off of the ibuprofen for 7 days before they do it. And they're just scheduling wise, I was almost 2 weeks out before I got that, and it was pretty rough. When I stopped taking ibuprofen, the pain would go from like manageable, not manageable is a rough word to use for that, because I was not able to like sit or like be comfortable or out of pain, but kept it at bay. When I stopped taking the ibuprofen, it was a struggle to just like sleep, uh, lay down, like do anything, use the bath, like everything was a struggle. I had the injection for about 2 days after. I felt some relief. Um, but I don't know if that was because I started taking ibuprofen immediately after, and that was helping. At that point, they'd also given me gabapentin and oxycodone and a muscle relaxer, so quite a mix of medications in there. But um, my follow up after the injection was like later in August, and I fortunately they have online scheduling available. I watched it like a hawk, and as soon as there was a cancellation, I took the next available appointment, and I got in there a couple days later and said that it wasn't working, and he, there was some anticipation that that would be the case, that I would likely need surgery for it, and so we discussed surgery. Um, and decided that that was probably going to be the best thing going forward for me, because just the severity of pain, and it's been sciatic pain has been 4 months, um, maybe 5 months. The really severe pain where it's been debilitating and I haven't been able to go to work in an office setting has been 2 months, maybe three. And so we made the decision to do that. He gave me all the information possible, but I wanted to know more, so I started looking at these YouTube videos, and that's why I decided to make one. Is like it's been so helpful for me to hear other people's experiences with it, and to not feel like I was doing this alone. I have a really supportive partner, and my friends have been around me, but like hearing other people's actual, like, this is what happened, and this is what I did, and this is where I'm at now, was like the thing that gave me a lot of relief going through this. So, I had like 2.5 weeks between when that appointment was and surgery, because of, again, going off of ibuprofen and some insurance stuff. And day of surgery, I went in and I was really nervous. They took care of me. They made sure I was comfortable. Had the surgery. It was an hour and a half long or so. Um, Recovery, like, I woke up, felt really bad, to be honest, when I woke up from the anesthesia, and they immediately gave me pain medicine, IV pain medicine, that got me comfortable, and got me sitting up, and um, got me in a wheelchair, and I was able to use the restroom, and my friends that were here to pick me up got me home. And well, let's back up. When I woke up, the pain that I was having was only in the incision area. Like, my back was really sore. I have no sciatic pain at all. It was a constant 7-8. Uh, I mean, I was like waiting for my next dose of pain medication. I'd use ice constantly. I have little twinges of pain in my leg where the sciatica was. Mine was the worst in my the back of my knee, but my ankle specifically felt like it was like both on fire and being crushed by something. It was really intense. The bottom of my foot was numb. I have most of the feeling back in my foot, and I have just like little tiny pains that are like a 2, and they're only for a few seconds that I'll feel them. So that's life changing, to be honest. It was so long. It was so long that I felt so bad, and to wake up feeling that way is pretty amazing. They got me up and moving. They made sure that I could pee, and then they sent me home with my friends with some aftercare instructions. My my husband left for the military like a week and a half ago, so this was long planned, and the timing was just really rough. But I've got great people around me supporting me. Got me home and got me into bed, and we iced every hour and a half, 2 hours, and taking my medication, and I've been able to get up and like move around the house a little bit. They don't want me doing too much exercise the first week. I've heard different people, like, they want you to get up and move immediately. I was advised to, like, for the first 7 days, not really go outside and just kind of like move around the house a little bit, but sit in chairs, sit on the couch, lay back down, not sit for more than 30 minutes. Um, and so I've just been kind of like shuffling about the house and trying to like get rehydrated and hang out and take it easy. I still I'm stiff, like getting in and out of bed is a little challenging. Um, I forget how much you like use your body to twist and bend and like reaching like the sink faucet knob is like, I forgot that I twist to do that. So it's just like relearning how to have some movements, but uh yeah, it's been, if you're thinking about having the surgery and you're in a lot of pain, and you and your surgeon decide it's the right thing to do, like, I feel um, so much relief. Even though I'm like stiff and sore, the amount of sciatic pain I was having was so intense. And if you're thinking about surgery, like, I hope hearing about somebody else's experience is eye-opening for you. And you know, it feels miserable when you're going through that. It, and like it's never gonna end, and like you can't get away from it. And you know, there's hope out there for it. Uh, I'll keep updating you guys as I progress forward, maybe like around the 7 day mark when I'm allowed to get up and walk outside. Give you guys an update, let you know how it's going. But so far, I am so happy that I did it. Like, um, I slept from like 10:30 to 6 a.m., which, I mean, I was waking up like every 4 hours because it was time for pain medicine before the surgery. And so to get like a full night of sleep is, I feel like a whole new person just from that alone. So, um, yeah, pretty happy. Can't wait to update you guys again in a few days on how things are going. And feel free to reach out. I got on Reddit message boards about herniated discs and like talked to people that were recently going through the experience or had gone through it in you know, years ago, and what the recovery was like now, and just like reaching out to people that are going through the same thing and knowing that you're not alone, because like the people around you that are helping you out while you're going through it, I'm sure are like lovely and there for you, but like have no idea what that level of pain that's sustained can be like. So having people, even if it's through the internet, that like get it and are like supportive, like reach out, you're not alone. And I'll talk to you guys soon.